update coming in, and 76 lawyers, a representation from 76 lawyers has gone to the Chief Justice of India. Lawyers are in fact raising alarm over hate speeches being delivered at a few religious events recently. The lawyer said that there must be suo moto cognizance taken of the hate speech, and essentially said that this is an open call. The kind of speeches which are being made in these events are like an open call for genocide of minorities, and it amounts to calling for murder of entire community and poses grave threat to the integrity of the country, and urgent judicial intervention is required. This is an urgent representation which has been made by 76 lawyers who have written to the CJI on this matter. In fact, there are several important signatories on in this list. If we can just tell our viewers, there are important lawyers who have in fact been part of the signatories of this list. Let me go across to my colleague Meenakshi for more on this. Meenakshi, take our viewers through the contents of this letter. What are some of the main points that these lawyers have raised in their representation to the Chief Justice?
Well, yes, Sonama, at the outset, these are lawyers from the Supreme Court. They are number around 76 or so who are signatories to this letter, including the likes of Mr. Prashant Bhushan, Mr. Salman Khurshid, Mr. Dushyant Dave, Mr. Raju Ramchandran, Hufaiza Ahmadi, all senior advocates. And in their capacity, they are urging for the Supreme Court to take suo moto cognizance of these recent spate of speeches which called for, violence against a certain cross-section of the Indian society. So what is hugely important is that these are lawyers who have always been at the forefront of aggressive lawsuits, especially against the government or other such groups associated with another section of the society. And these lawyers are citing examples in this particular representation, which runs into 13 or 14 odd pages, by annexing excerpts of these speeches that were made recently. And they're urging for the Supreme Court to take suo moto cognizance, which is the suo moto powers or jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, which it can invoke on its own, saying that these events and the speeches delivered are the same and not mere hate speeches, but also amount to an open call for murder of an entire community. And they go on to state in the representation how the said speeches thus far pose a great threat to not just the unity and integrity of the country, but also endanger the lives of millions of certain citizens who belong or practice a set of religion in India. And therefore, with these grounds, they have put on their signatures. There are about 76 of them. We just named the most known or famous of the lawyers in the Supreme Court who are signatories to this particular representation. And with that, they also named the people who have made these speeches in this representation. And with that, they're urging for the Supreme Court to invoke its suo moto powers. Very quickly, Dhanava will underline for our viewers, as of now, the Supreme Court is still in the middle of a winter break. Remember that. And it is only latest first week of January that the Supreme Court is expected to reconvene after the winter break.
Meenakshi there giving us the details of what this letter, which has gone to the Chief Justice of India from the 76 lawyers, is about. Thank you so much for bringing us the details and the contents of that letter. I'm also joined over the phone line by Mr. Ramakant Gaur, a senior lawyer. Mr. Gaur, as a lawyer, as a member of the legal fraternity, are you with the 76 signatories, in fact, who have raised an alarm over these calls of ethnic cleansing which have been made in some of these speeches delivered at these events, religious events, in fact? So what is your point of view on this, because this is clearly the legal fraternity coming together to raise their voice on a very important issue?
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Yes, sir, please go on.
The very definition of dharma is यो धारयति इति धर्म, जो धारण करने योग्य है वह धर्म है. We are not only governed by several set of rules religiously, but the most sacred books in our lives our Vedas and then Indian Constitution. None of the book, none of the Vedas or Constitution or any reckoned religious text teaches us to distinguish. And none of the text, none of the such a sacrosanct text teaches us to cause hatred like whatever is happening in the recent times. And the most disturbing part is that the administration is a moot spectator of the events. Why do we require Chief Justice or Supreme Court to intervene? Is our other limbs of the Constitution, which is executive, the political dispensation, they have gone where? I mean, why are they silent? Or are they trying to be the perpetrator of this? This is something which is really very disturbing.
Right, exactly.
Is administration so numb that they are not able to take any action? No arrest is caused so far? It is not dharma. It is adharma in its purity. No one is allowed to cause hatred like this. No one is allowed to abuse Mahatma Gandhi like this. No one is allowed to pray Nathuram Godse. Where are we living? I mean, this is not a civil society, what we have conceptualized at the time of laying the foundation of Constitution.
Right, and we'll
Yes. They are assailing at the values of the Constitution.
Right.
They must be sent behind the bar.
This is a very important, very, very sensitive matter which the lawyers there have in fact raised their voice on, have in fact tried to attract the attention of the Chief Justice of India on this very important letter. As we said, that this is a representation which has been signed by 76 lawyers who have urged important, urgent intervention on this matter and have written to the Chief Justice of India. We'll leave it there for now. Thank you so much, Mr. Ramakant Kaur, for joining us on this discussion.